o'clock on Tuesday, May 20th. We will call to order the regular council meeting. We start on time so we can end on time, and we always start with an invocation tonight by Mr. Allen, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led tonight by Dr. Duke. So get ready. Please stand.
Can we pray? Praise God. Eternal Father in heaven, Lord, as we come before you tonight, help us so that we might be able to help others. Look upon our hearts and our souls and uplift us and encourage us and help us to be able to reach out and to say some good, encouraging, and kind word to someone who needs it. We pray for every family and every household represented here tonight. We pray that your love and that your salvation and most of all your victory and your protection would be applied to each and every one. Help us again, dear Lord, so that all that we do here will be pleasing unto you. And help us to never forget your sacrifice that you have made for us so that we might have opportunity to have victory and love within our hearts and our lives. We thank you, Lord, for all you provide for us. Be with us now, O Lord. Uplift us this night and help us again to look into our neighbor and to touch their hand and to uplift them, and also to help us as leaders to keep a vision, because your word says that where there is no vision, the people perish. Help us to have a strong vision to help our neighbors. And in all things we'll praise you and honor you, for we ask it upon the name of our Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Attention to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. All right, next up is our public input. We had two people sign up. Our public input, we have rules that we go by. It's a professional venue. First of all, let me see if we have our people that signed up here. Jesse Holtz. I may have mispronounced the last name. Jesse? All right, let's move on to the next one. Don, he's coming? It's okay. Maybe I'll wait till everybody gets a seat. Everybody's okay. All right. Moving next to Donna Colotz. All right. Alibis back to Jesse. Nope. And Don. We will close public input and we'll move forward to approval of the agenda contents. Is there a motion?
So moved.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Next, for the approval of the minutes for the regular meeting for May 6, 2025. A motion?
So moved.
Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Consent agenda. Motion? Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Moving right along to presentations and resolutions. Resolution R 68, 2025, designated May 18 through 24, 2025 as National Public Works Week, People, Purpose, Presence. Motion?
So moved.
Turn it over to Mr. Gilreath.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of council. Joining me up here at a rapid pace are a number of folks. We wanted to take this chance to recognize, and what we have here is a recognition of National Public Works Week. I think this is the 69th or 65th, I forget the number, time that has been done nationally. We have done it a number of times. This is recognizing those folks that have some of them have the yellow lights on their trucks and their vehicles. Some of them don't have vehicles, but they're the people. They're the people that do the things that don't get seen. I mentioned the other day in the I&R committee, when we're doing our job, you don't know it. When we don't do our job, you know it. So we wanted to take a chance to recognize these folks. They are kind of the salt of the earth people. They do great things. They do great things in the shadows. They do things that serve this community in ways a lot of us don't recognize and don't understand. And that's what the purpose of this National Public Works Week is. The theme this year is people, purpose, and presence. I don't know if Mr. Allen would like to say anything.
Real quick and short. Oftentimes, and so we praise our public safety, and they do a wonderful job, outstanding job. But I want you to stop and think just a minute. Anytime we have an emergency here, be it a flood, an ice storm, a hurricane, whatever, our public works guys and gals are the first ones out and the last ones in. I want you to think about that. Team Horry.
Yes, sir. As you've seen over the last number of years, we have been called out to do a lot of things with the storms and the floods and everything. And these folks have responded every time. They're usually there before I hear about it. I had one yesterday. The train track at Carolina Forest Boulevard shut down Carolina Forest Boulevard, some malfunction from the railroad track, and they were already there before I heard about it, and they had it fixed. So we wanted to take a chance.
One more short thing, and I don't want to get ahead and stuff because I don't know if we got a, but they did something this past year with some flooding that saved an entire community.
Yes, sir.
They also were very instrumental in helping us in the Carolina Forest wildfire, and it's not something you think about when you think about the fires. You think about the police officers and the fire department in particular, but the HEOs and what they had to do with some of the apparatus to help with the fire suppression was very important. Nobody ever thinks about it, so thank you all for everything you guys do.
We're all a big, happy part of Team Horry. So thank you to all of you and all the folks that are on TV that are not able to be here tonight. Thank you to all. They need a motion.
Need a motion, Mr. Chairman?
We got a motion and a second.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Keep that.
Need pictures? Pictures?
Stretch out there.
Favor? Aye?
Aye.
All right. Moving on to Resolution R 2025, proclaiming May as Mental Health Awareness Month. I'd like to recognize Michelle Smith. Good evening.
Good evening, Chairman, members of the council. I'm here tonight to request that a resolution be passed for Horry County to recognize May as Mental Health Awareness Month. Mental health is one of the few social issues that truly knows no bounds, no jurisdictional lines, and does not discriminate. As many are aware, some more personally than others, there has been a mental health crisis not only within our area specifically, but the nation as a whole. It is truly a privilege to stand here before you tonight to explain that over the past couple of years, our county has made significant strides to address the mental well-being of our community. Through the implementation of several initiatives within the public safety sector, all aimed at increasing accessibility to treatment and supportive resources, these teams have redefined what it means to truly meet people where they are and to serve our community. While we're certainly winning battles, we cannot ignore that we still have a long way to win the war. This resolution, while it pales in comparison, is simply another step forward to continue to bring awareness and shed light to the mental health and its often silent battles plaguing our community. I cannot thank you all enough for the opportunity to stand before you and would greatly appreciate your support in passing this resolution.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Motion? Second? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. All right. Good. All right, moving on to the reading of ordinances. First up is the third reading and public hearing of ordinance 39-2025 to raise revenue, make appropriations, and adopt a budget for Horry County, South Carolina for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026. Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Anyone from the public come to talk about this?
Yes.
Another bite at the apple. You talked last time.
Good evening, good to see you.
Hello, back again. Good to see yous. About this ordinance,
Excuse me, Benny, some people don't know who you are, so tell us your name.
oh, Vincent Lahutsky. I'm out in Carolina Forest, but just to let you know, I'll be moving. And while I know there's one county councilman will be later jumping for joy, I'm sure there's a few others that are, where am I moving to?
I always enjoy seeing you in the grocery store.
Oh, I love you
What you're
too.
talking about.
I love you too, Dennis. All right, about this ordinance, it has to do with the appropriation of monies towards an event called the Myrtle Beach Jazz Festival. And what there is, if we give money, county money towards the jazz festival, they make up something that's called a VIP section. Whereupon I'm not a VIP nor anybody in this room unless you pay an extra cost. And what that does is prohibits people from dancing in front of the stage, where last year somebody was acting like a policewoman kicking everybody out as if we had no business there, about 20, 25 of us, just so that two people could twirl and dance in front of the stage. What I'm saying is that if we're giving money to such an event, that the VIP section should be off to the side so that the rest of the county whose taxes are going towards this event can dance and frolic in front of the stage all they want. That's all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming out.
And you have a lovely day.
You too. Thank you, sir. All right. Must be budget year. We hear from Biddy. All right. Anybody else? Hearing none, we will close public hearing. Anyone from council? Hearing none. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
One opposed? Okay, moving on. Paragraph 15 and 16, we'll take them up together. This is second reading and public hearing, ordinance 47, 2025, and 48, 2025, to approve the request to amend the official zoning maps to rezone PIN number 457-1004-0010 from residential to retail with accessory outdoor storage, and also to amend the future land use map of the Imagine 2040 comprehensive plan for the same PIN number from scenic and conservation to suburban. One motion for both ordinances. Mr. Crawford?
So moved.
Second.
Public. Hearing none. Anyone from council? Hearing none. One vote for both ordinances. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Both of those pass unanimously. Next up is second reading and public hearing for ordinance 50-2025, authorizing the amendment of certain provisions, Chapter 2, Article 5, Section 2-70.6 of the Code of Ordinances, South Carolina, and other matters relating thereto.
So moved.
Second. Anyone from the public? Hearing none. Anyone from council? Hearing none. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Next up is second reading and public hearing for ordinance 51-2025 to authorize and approve an agreement for the development of a joint industrial and business park by and between Horry and Georgetown County with property located in Georgetown County to require the payment of a fee in lieu of ad valorem taxes by businesses and industries located in the park, to apply zoning and other laws in the park, to provide for law enforcement jurisdiction in the park, and to provide for the distribution of park revenues within the county. Motion?
So moved.
Second. Anyone from the public wish to be heard on this? Hearing none. Anyone from council? Hearing none. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Next is the third reading of ordinance 40-2025 to approve the request to amend the official zoning maps of Horry County so as to rezone a 3.94 acre portion of PIN numbers 458-090-20015 and 05 from residential to passenger and product transportation. Mr. Loftus, is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second? All in favor, aye. Any opposed? None. That passes unanimously. Next up is first reading of ordinance 36-2025 to approve the request to amend the official zoning maps for Horry County so as to rezone PIN number 296-000-00037 from commercial agriculture to multi-residential district preservation. Mr. Hardy, motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Mr. Hardy, any discussion?
Chairman, I'm gonna take staff's recommendation of this approval for this.
All right, so he's asking the people not to approve this. Despite that, is there anybody who wishes to vote for yes or in the affirmative? Hearing none, all the nays say nay. That's unanimous, it fails. Next up is first reading of ordinance 55-2025 to approve the request to amend the official zoning maps for Horry County so as to rezone PIN number 44009010004 from residential to agricultural ranchettes. Mr. Crawford, motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion, Mr. Crawford?
Yes, sir. I would kindly ask council to please move this forward to second reading.
Any further discussion from council? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes unanimously. Next up is the memorial dedications. Mr. Allen?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Barry Martin, a Josh Canada, Thomas Small, and a Jeff Boyd. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Causey?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Miss Doris Vault Hardy.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Hardy?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mary Louise Causey Hughes, Clayton Ricky Mishu Jr., Judy Stephen Hardy, and Etheline Prince Cox.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Howard, there was Dolores Bollinger, Myrtle Beach. Mr. Servant?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Keith Henson.
Yes, sir. All right, anyone else, Mr. Anderson?
Reverend Michael A. Holmes II.
All right. Okay, if that's all, we will honor these individuals by remembering them when we close out our meeting tonight in their memory. Our upcoming meetings are listed on the agenda, but please pay attention to the county website because they are subject to change. I think, Mr. Servant, admin next week?
That's correct. It's canceled.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right. I'm going to go straight into third reading, and executive session's on here, but I'm going to skip over that for a minute. I'm going to go to paragraph 22, third reading and public hearing of ordinance 49-2025, approving and authorizing the county administrator to execute a lease agreement between the city of Myrtle Beach and Horry County as lessors with the Myrtle Beach Pelicans. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Barry Spivey, can you come up and tell council a little about this ordinance?
Council members, Chairman, we are pleased to be before you tonight and try to give you a little brief update to tell you where we are and how we've gotten to this point. And I would be remiss if I didn't take the opportunity to personally thank our partners at the City of Myrtle Beach, as well as the team. Of any project that we have worked on over the last several years, I don't know of another one that we've got this much time devoted into. It has come with a lot of discussion. I think the first meeting that I remember going to the city was back in December of '23, actually, when we met with the city manager to begin talking about the extension of the leases or the lease for the Pelican Stadium, which was then, I think, we may have already been at the first renewal at that point, but about what the options we have for the stadium and how we potentially could leverage that and pay for that. We have had a number of meetings and iterations in the meantime since that point in time. I think we looked at financial analysis in June of '24, in August of '24, in September of '24, and then also in December of '24, and we've looked at multiple analysis of different options between then and where we are today. We had a meeting with the City of Myrtle Beach because they asked, because we had made the comment in the past, does the county want to get out of the deal, which we did reply affirmatively. That was apparently, I think, the wish that we saw from our council members. So we began a process of, I would say, a dual process, and maybe that's the right way to look at it. With the meetings we had, we always looked at both elements of that from the standpoint of how we could further the lease or how we potentially could allow the City of Myrtle Beach to move forward with that lease as a single entity in that regard. During this time, I know we reviewed various lease formats. We'd had discussion with the city about a potential exit for the county in terms of its interest. We had discussed an amount, I think we had suggested an amount of $6 million. And we thought that's the direction that we were going in. One of the lease drafts, and Thomas, if you don't mind pulling the lease draft up.
That's to buy our interest out of the ballpark, Barry?
No, that is a agreement of lease between the city of Myrtle Beach and the Pelican Stadium that did not include Horry County as a lessor.
Correct.
We have not actually negotiated an agreement as to the buyout of our interest in that regard. And buyout might not be the appropriate term, I guess separation in that regard. So this was the draft I think we had in February, and we were working towards the end, we felt like, to remove Horry County as a party to that agreement. At the city's budget retreat, as well as the May 6th workshop that they presented, their budget includes the $6 million contribution from the county. And if you note in the future years where there is additional spending at the ball stadium, there is no contribution from the county. And my interpretation of that would be that, yes, they were considering the offer that we had made to them, and the county not having an ongoing financial obligation with the stadium. We've had multiple meetings during this process, no doubt. One of the most recent ones was April 17th, where members of our council and members of the city council came together. At that point in time, the city desired us to stay in this deal, was how they communicated it to us. And in that, we did provide some type of option to potentially fund this from other than recurring sources that we were already utilizing. A lot of times when communities are building facilities of this nature, it is partnered with a new development. If you take the example of Spartanburg, which I think has just built a new stadium, there's a large private investment, commercial development that probably is a mixed-use development all around that facility to the tune of about $450 million of new investment. And the increment or the additional taxes generated by something that helps to pay for the new amenity or the new item like a ball stadium that's there. And honestly, that's how we arrived at this stadium, because we had so much commercial activity and being developed in that late 1990s, early 2000s, in that Broadway at the Beach area in that regard. So those were similar elements, and what they're doing in Columbia at the moment has that same potential funding source, where they are redeveloping the Bull Street property for the Department of Mental Health and providing an additional commercial development there, which helps funnel or fund the new investment in things like a ball stadium in that regard. We met with the city on the 17th. We provided that potential offer of a multi-county business park as a means to provide some level of funding for this and have it in a sustainable fashion on an ongoing basis, because that income would go for a number of years in that regard. The city and we both scheduled the first readings on the 22nd, and that occurred. We added in our second reading the actual IGA, which would affect that transaction, and that was done on our part on May 6th. The city completed its second reading, on May 13th, but it did not include acceptance of that alternate method of funding in that regard. And we are here tonight, I guess, to consider multiple things in that regard, funding with the IGA included, or the opportunity to exit this and allow the city and the team to move forward directly.
Did you have a question?
I've got a couple. I don't know if it's the appropriate time.
Well, we'll take it up in a little bit. I forgot, I got to do public hearing, so we'll do that. All right, thank you
Okay.
for orienting us there. We're going to open it up now for public hearing. And what we've always done for public hearing on controversial ordinances is that we try to divide it up. We have limited time, so we'll hear from somebody that's in favor, we'll hear from somebody that's against it, if there is anybody in favor or anybody against it, and going forth like that. So, show of hands, who wants to participate in the public hearing? I know I have one special guest here, we're going to call on her in a minute. All right, against it? For it? One? Okay. All right, let's go with you with the paper up. We'll start it off, please. 5 minutes, a professional venue. Just tell us what your name is, and
Sir.
you can see when the light turns red, your time will
Thank you,
be
sir.
up.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the council. My name is Scott Strange, reside at 223 Black Pearl Way in Myrtle Beach. I'll start with this, plain and simple. Please keep the Myrtle Beach Pelicans in Myrtle Beach. My connection with the Myrtle Beach Pelicans goes back to the very beginning of the team. My wife and I began vacationing in Myrtle Beach back in the 1980s, and when the team came in 1999, we were part of its first season, us and 2 of our children, and then our 3rd child came. When our children came around, we continued to vacation here, and Pelicans games were always the highlight of our trip. The family-friendly park was a favorite stop for my son and 2 daughters, and it is no mistake that this park continues to win the distinction as the best family-friendly park year after year. Again, please make this happen for the families who share the love of this game. Fast forward 20 years, and my wife and I, along with our autistic son, became residents in Sockasty. Because of the joy that this team brought my family for the last 20 years, one of my goals was to work for the Pelicans. 3 years ago, I became an usher for the Myrtle Beach Pelicans. I get paid to watch baseball and hang out with people who have the same love that I do. What could go wrong? My autistic son comes with me to just about every single game. He sits in section 210, row 3, seat 1. That's where he loves to sit. Again, please make this lease happen for all of the employees of the Pelicans, many of them taxpayers from our county. One of the great joys of my job working at the Pelicans is I get to greet fans from all 50 states and around the globe as they come to our park. Many have their families with them, grandparents, parents, children, generations coming to visit, just like we did back in the 90s and the early 2000s. There are groups of college students who are coming here to Myrtle Beach for the first time who come to our park with great joy. Old friends gathering here to play golf and then go to a game at night. Fans at their first ever baseball game and lifelong fans like myself. Again, please keep Myrtle Beach Pelicans in Myrtle Beach for all of the tourists who love to come to this game and love this park. My latest connection to the team is through my role as the area director for Horry County Special Olympics. In this role, I have interacted with the Myrtle Beach Pelicans for Special Olympics nights at the park, had members of the Pelicans staff volunteering as unified partners on our Special Olympics teams, had the Pelicans players and staff come to work with our softball team and baseball team that went on to win gold medals at the state championships, by the way. Just throwing that in there. This past February, however, the Myrtle Beach Pelicans, along with Horry County Special Olympics and a group called Base Able out of New Jersey, hosted a first of its kind Swing for Inclusion baseball clinic at Pelicans Ballpark. This event allowed over 100 athletes, including high school players from the local area, college players, and about 75 of our Special Olympians to take the field at Pelicans Ballpark. The clinic was followed by a demonstration baseball game featuring Special Olympics athletes from New Jersey, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and right here in Myrtle Beach. The Pelicans organization and staff treated our athletes like professional players. We got to use the clubhouse to prepare for our game. They were allowed to enter the field just like the Pelicans team, and they played a game on the field with all of the bells and whistles. And here's the full circle moment. My son, who attended his first Pelicans game in 2003, at the age of 3, got to take the mound at Pelicans Ballpark as the starting pitcher for the National Special Olympics baseball team. Please make this happen for all of the organizations that this team reaches out to and works with and supports and collaborates with. We are enhanced by the Myrtle Beach Pelicans. A no vote removes decades of goodwill and collaboration that have been fostered since the very beginning for all of the people in our county. Voting in favor of this lease will only enhance the things that this team brings to this city, to this county, to this state, and thousands of visitors that come to see us and visit us from around the globe, as well as the 50 states. They come through our ballpark each year for that experience that we offer. Horry County offers that. Nobody else offers that. We can proudly stand behind that and be a part of that for generations to come. I thank you for your time, and I yield the floor.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. We don't have much time, and I know there's a lot of people that want to talk, so if we can hear from the people to talk rather than clap, because we know your position, and clapping's not going to help anybody, I don't think. So, was there somebody over there that wanted to speak against this? Okay, that's fine, that's fine. So is anybody here against? Okay, so everybody here is for it, all right, so, okay. Well, I don't think we ever had that happen before, so, well, we were over here a while ago, so we'll go over here. So how about Coach Gilmore? I see you in the back, raising your hand.
To all the people on the council, I deeply appreciate you giving me a moment to speak today. For the last 25 years, this organization and the Myrtle Beach Pelicans has been a part of the fabric of our county. Not just Myrtle Beach, but the entire county. I live in Georgetown County, but it's a fabric of who we are down there as well. You know, you think about the Chicago Cubs. I mean, anybody that follows baseball knows the ballpark, the name they play, the place they play at. Here, and Pelican Stadium is an icon of our community. It's a huge part of who we are. And I know personally, when Chuck came in here and the general managers as he's had, the cooperation they gave Coastal Carolina University, the things that we accomplished in baseball. We won a national championship at a mid-major school that I can honestly tell you, without the cooperation of the Pelicans, we would never have done that. Would not have happened. Baseball at the beach was a catapult for us to be able to grow that program into national prominence. The years that we built the stadium out at Coastal, they were so kind to allow us to be there every single day, playing on that field, practicing on that field year-round. The relationship that we had there has been just beyond cooperative. They went way out of their way to be a part of what we were trying to do. You know, I look around in Myrtle Beach, having gone to college here, and then turn around and have the great honor of being a baseball coach and having an opportunity to grow that program. Where in Myrtle Beach now can I go? I don't mean to be negative to any other establishment around, but where can you go and take your child to a wholesome environment for $10 to $15 a person? It's non-existent. You can't do it. Where can you go for 3 hours in an afternoon, know your kid is safe, know they're going to laugh and smile, they're going to eat a snow cone and ice cream and popcorn and a hot dog, and they might not even like baseball, but they're going to have fun. And you're going to enjoy it as a family together. There aren't that many opportunities in our community to do these things anymore. We take that away. What do we replace it with? So many of these guys that walk through here that play, for people that become true fans of the Pelicans, watch them as they ascend to the big leagues, and you feel like a part of you is with them when you watch them on TV. You know, all the great players that the Braves had for years and years that came through here. You know, if you're a real Pelicans fan, you know exactly who every one of those guys are. They were part of all of us. You know, I'd really hate to personally see us do away with one of the most wholesome icon, faith-driven sports and community activities that we have here in Myrtle Beach. It is truly an icon and a part of the fabric of who we are. And I hope that you all find that worthy of the money we spend. I think the challenges that all of the people have in the city of Myrtle Beach and in the county is that so much of at least everything I've read and understand, so much of what you're going to see the money go to is inside buildings and inside places. It's not something as a council member you can sit here and go, well, wow, you know, look at all the things we did. There are going to be some cosmetic things done out there, but, you know, Major League Baseball is demanding that, you know, the old minor leagues I played in, it's not like that anymore. These guys want, you know, they want clubhouses that all of us will be happy to live in. You know, it's just different. You have to keep up with it. And, you know, I hope you see the worth of keeping these guys here. I promise you this would be a huge mistake for our community to not have them in here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. What he didn't tell you was, I went to every one of those games. Some of them went to 11 o'clock. We were playing for somebody to win. We didn't care who won at that time. But anyway, I think we've heard a lot. I'd like to bring up the mayor if she would like to come up and talk to us a little bit. That will probably, I don't think, we'll just see how it goes. I think that might be enough.
Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, well, because we're running out of time, and we normally
Yes, sir.
like to give both sides, but it looks like everybody's on one side, so.
Thank you, Mr.
Yes,
Chairman.
ma'am.
Thank you, council members. It is a pleasure to be here with you this evening, and thank you for having all of us here. First of all, I want to thank each and every one of you and your management team. We talked a little bit, Barry, you talked a little bit about the relationships that we now have. And the city of Myrtle Beach and Horry County does have a strong, collaborative, working relationship with each other. And that has been years in the making. It is the same relationship that we have been using throughout these negotiations. I want you to know that being a valued partner with Horry County on Pelican Stadium is very important to us. We have not yet voted on our budget. The $6 million that you saw in the budget was based on your 30% of the $20 million PDL requirements for Major League Baseball. That's why it did not continue year after year, but we have not yet voted on that budget. What I also want to share with you is I have a copy of our signed lease, which does include Horry County. We're just waiting for your signature. Last Tuesday, our city council passed the second and final reading of our ordinance approving a new lease with the Pelicans. I'm here to encourage you to support your third reading tonight without the conditions that the city of Myrtle Beach enter into an intergovernmental agreement related to the creation of a multi-county business park and airport funding. My commitment to each of you, again, my commitment to each of you is that we will engage with Municap, whom we have all worked with before, to provide us with the critical information that we need to move forward with the multi-county business park. And we will continue our productive meetings regarding airport funding and other matters of business that we can work on together. We have a contract with Municap right now that is ready for our signature based on what happens this evening. The IGA that is included should not be tied to our partnership with the stadium. It is not fair to the Pelicans. It is not fair to their staff, our Horry County residents and visitors, or the numerous nonprofit organizations that the Pelicans support. many of those who are in this room this evening, and I'm going to ask for every nonprofit organization who is supported by the Pelicans to stand up at this time, please. Losing the Pelicans due to the requirement of an IGA by County Council that is tied to the Pelicans lease would be devastating to everyone in Horry County. Since 1998, the city and the county have had a successful partnership as joint owners of the stadium. We have both honored our respective obligations, and it is because of our partnership that we have minor league baseball in Horry County.
Do you mind, Brenda, if they could tell us what organizations, or if you could just tell what organizations they represent?
Yes, sir.
Horry County Special Olympics.
Combat Vets Motorcycle Association.
Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts.
United Way of Horry County. Myrtle Beach Area Hospitality Association. Transgender Leagues. Myrtle Beach Volunteer.
Thank you.
And that's just a few. There are numerous others. The city has spent more than a year negotiating with Pelicans ownership and Major League Baseball to reach an agreement that is substantially better for our community than the previous agreement. We have kept the county updated on these negotiations every step of the way. The lease that our council approved included the framework for the necessary capital improvements that are required by Major League Baseball. Let me be clear. These necessary capital improvements have not been imposed on us by the Pelicans, by the city of Myrtle Beach, or by Horry County. They have been imposed on us all by Major League Baseball. Timing is critical due to Major League Baseball giving us a hard deadline to execute the lease by the end of this month. The city has already signed the lease, which I have shown you, and we're just, again, waiting for you all to do the same, Mr. Chairman. The Pelicans have been devoted to Horry County for over 25 years. Over 25 years. Including the IGA as a requirement to pass third reading could mean the loss of over 250 full-time, part-time, and seasonal employees, all of which are Horry County residents. Further, every year the Pelicans support over 200 local charities. Since 2013, they have given more than $3 million to our community to support these charitable organizations. If you do not vote to pass third reading, all of this community support will cease. On behalf of the city of Myrtle Beach and Pelicans fans everywhere, please, as you said, Councilman Allen, have a bold vision. Have a bold vision and pass third reading tonight and remove the requirement for an IGA to be included. Thank you for your time.
Madam Mayor, we appreciate you coming out. Okay, we normally have 3 and 3. We've had our 3, and I don't think anybody could do a better job than the mayor just did.
Mr. Chairman, could Christie Paul, veteran manager, speak on our behalf, please?
Yeah, come on up here. If you can add some new stuff to it, that'll be fine.
Thank you for the time. Thank you for listening tonight and for your participation throughout the entire process. We have a deep respect for the responsibility that you as council members hold to do what is best for this community. And as you've heard here tonight, we truly do believe that the Pelicans are what is best for this community. It's more than a ballpark, a team, or a facility. It's a community asset and one that we are truly proud stewards of. But none of what we do is possible without the community, and we truly appreciate their 27 years of support for the folks that are here tonight and those who I know have more stories that you've heard and reasons that they would love to share, and we certainly appreciate their time. The same goes for our staff, from full-time to part-time. You've heard the 250 employees, but the experience that folks have when they come through the gates, it starts with them, and then it's a direct result of their passion and efforts. When you look at our full-time staff, and this is very, very uncommon in our industry, we have 207 years of collective experience within minor league baseball. But more importantly and impressively, 169 of those years are in Myrtle Beach with the Pelicans in Horry County. It's a dedicated group of folks that serve on dozens of boards, committees, organizations, and teams each and every year. When you look at other impacts on the local community and economy, there's a family fundraising program that supports over 100 employees. And over the last 3 years alone, that's generated $240,000 to support extracurricular activities for kids in the community. Our direct tax payments. In 2024, that was $645,000. We spend locally as much as we possibly can with businesses to support our locals. The last 3 years, that's equated to $6.6 million. The Chicago Cubs, again, directly investing in the community. They spend annually about $730,000 in the community for housing, catering, transportation, et cetera. The earned media that the team brings to the area is in the millions for online ad value, social media impressions, and broadcast reach. And that number for online reach is in the billions. You've heard about the Pelicans Community Fund, $3.3 million locally since 2013, and 200 plus local charities each and every year. But outside of Pelicans baseball, there's dozens and dozens, the list is very extensive, of other events that are hosted. That's charity events, high school baseball, college baseball, pro softball, nitro circus, concerts, car shows, food shows, disc golf, RV shows, trick or treat, police and fire training, disaster relief assistance. Anytime we're asked to step up in those situations, our answer is always yes. Some of those examples are the Hurricane Florence benefit concert, testing and food distribution during COVID, and most recently, with the first responder thank you event as a result, or as a response to the Carolina forest wildfires. I believe all this information was shared, some of these stats were shared previously electronically, but I do have printed material copies here tonight if anybody would like another copy. But I share all of this to emphasize the vast reach and importance of the Pelicans and the ballpark to the community as a whole. I thank you for your time. I thank those that are here tonight and those who are not. And I certainly hope that we can all look forward to making memories at the ballpark for many years to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And with that, we will close the public hearing portion of this ordinance and turn it over to council.
Make a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We'll do that.
While in executive session, council engaged in discussions of contractual negotiations. No votes were taken.
Thank you, sir. So, ordinance 49, 2025 has already been put on the record, and I want to read into the record the following ordinances. We'll take up one motion for each of the two. Paragraph 23 is ordinance 59-2025, approving and authorizing the county administrator to engage in negotiations and execute a deed to convey the county's interest in property located on 21st Avenue North in the city of Myrtle Beach. The next one is Resolution R71, 2025, in support of the Myrtle Beach Pelicans and transferring ownership of their home ballpark to the city of Myrtle Beach. So we have three. One's on the record already. We need a motion for the other two. One motion, both orders.
Second.
Before we get into the discussion, I would like for staff to tell us what these three are. One is sign a lease, the alternative or contingency is, and then the contingency is. Mr. Spivey.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
The three items you have before you include multiple alternatives for solution to our lease with the Pelicans. The first is ordinance 49, 2025, which tonight is up for third reading. So we've had two readings of that previously that approves the lease as negotiated between the city of Myrtle Beach and the Pelican team. It includes a condition, a funding mechanism that is to be determined, because what's being asked at this point in time is to consent to a multi-county business park with parcels included within the city of Myrtle Beach. It is not complete or institute or put in place a multi-county business park at this time. That is a future action that council would need to take. For us to sign the lease, that would be the condition to it, and that would provide a funding stream, not only for the Pelicans, but other projects that we've had discussions with the city about on a long-term basis. David, is there anything else I need to say about that one? Okay.
All right, so that's the first one.
That is the
Go ahead and
first
go
one.
into the second one, because they make sense if they read them together, I
Yes.
think.
Mr. Chairman, I know he's just described that. For the public to understand that, that is a funding mechanism that would work for City of Myrtle Beach and the county, where everybody can stop bleeding the taxpayers' money to put into a ballpark. We could generate those monies through different sources.
Yes, the growth that would occur.
To know, we're trying to come up with a solution that does not take their tax dollars, and that we're trying to pay for this. We want baseball. We want it.
Yeah.
We want it to stay.
That's
We're trying to come up with a solution, and we've got these solutions in this package. Now, all they have to do is work with us, and this will work. We'll have baseball for forever. And I'm sorry I interrupted, but it's very important for the people to understand we've got solutions. We don't just have to sign this and be in the baseball by ourselves with the city of Myrtle Beach. We've got solutions to make it forever. I'm sorry. Thank you, Barry.
Yes, the discussion originated out of our April 17th meeting, in which our council members at that meeting made this suggestion as a means to help fund the cost of the improvements, which are the $20 million PDL at the present time, as well as the addition balance of the SKA assessment, which is, I think, estimated at $15.7 million at this point in time. So it's just under $36 million, which is the current needs to occur at that stadium. Now, the city has shared with us that all that does not have to happen at one time. It can be spread out over some period of time, and we'd have to agree on what that period would be. But in essence, we're looking at almost $36 million of additional debt that would need to be put in place between the city and the county.
So basically, we want baseball. We're just trying to figure out a way to fund it so the taxpayers don't have to pay for baseball. They can go to it, but they don't have to pay the millions and millions of dollars for it to stay here. So
That
if
may
we-
lead into some of the things I wanted to touch on, Mr. Chairman, so I don't know
Okay.
if now
I just
would be
want
the
to say about the
appropriate time.
business park, and I'm going to turn it over to you if that's all right. So the multi-business park, if that established, that would generate an income stream that would basically pay for baseball in perpetuity, and we wouldn't have to get it off the backs of the taxpayers.
The multi-county business park, as it's been proposed, would keep current tax revenues going to all of those jurisdictions that are receiving those revenues. So it's keeping the current tax revenues where it's at, and we would be capturing the growth that is occurring in those, on those parcels, and a portion of that growth then would be used to fund infrastructure-type elements similar to the need at Pelican Stadium. And there's going to be more needs as those properties develop. Needs from a public infrastructure standpoint and potentially some subsidies to developers to be able to make that investment to generate those tax
So
revenues.
if the number was 36 million,
Yes,
you don't have to do all that today. But as you do that, the costs are going to go up because all these costs always go up,
Yes, sir.
and you have overruns. But then, years down the road, you're going to have other millions for other costs and maintenance and things of that nature. So we're talking about real money, but we're talking about a real solution.
yes, sir.
Mr. DiSabato.
Sure. I want to preface everything by saying that if you asked me this question maybe 2 months ago, I might have been the only person on this council who would have supported voting for the lease without any other financial strings attached. Okay, I support baseball in Myrtle Beach. I understand how important it is to the fabric of the community. I understand the goodwill that it brings. I understand the goodwill that it brings to charitable organizations in Horry County. It's all very important, okay? But there's always a but, right? This is not a cut and dry issue. There are a lot of nuances that maybe aren't being discussed publicly that need to be discussed. We need to put some sunlight on them, okay? So Shannon, I had asked you a question in the back. So for those of you who don't know Shannon, she is the person in charge of the financial affairs for the county, for the most part, on our staff, that provides us the information that we need to make the decisions that we do pertaining to our budget and the money that we spent. For lack of a better term, Shannon's our CFO, okay? So I'm going to let you go into the nuance a little bit, but point blank, as the CFO of this organization, if we were a for-profit entity, is investing in baseball without any of the other IGA items attached a sound financial decision for the county and the taxpayers?
It is not.
Okay. If I'm not mistaken, we're subsidizing about $5.10 of every ticket sold for somebody who goes to the baseball.
That's correct.
And together with the city of Myrtle Beach, we're subsidizing $17.
With these capital expenditures, if they
Yes.
were approved, yes.
Okay. Are we losing money on an annual basis by participating in the operation of baseball
We are. Current
much?
fiscal year, we are projected to lose over $400,000.
Per
for
year?
the fiscal year of '25.
And that will grow as time goes on?
Yeah, with these capital expenditures, we're looking at losing anywhere between $700,000 to $800,000 a year.
So I ask those people who may be business owners or work for business owners to take that concept into consideration when they're hearing what we're talking about right now. Now, that being said, for months, all we were being presented with were problems. This is the problem, this is the problem, this is the problem, no solutions. We came up with a solution that was wholesale rejected. So what we're about to do is provide 2 additional solutions on top of that that will help keep baseball in Myrtle Beach and in Horry County. Is that correct? That's what we're doing, Barry?
Yes, sir.
We're providing additional solutions on top of the one that we've already presented?
Yes, sir. The additional actions you have before us would continue that dual track that I mentioned earlier that we've been discussing to give the city an option that we would contribute $6 million and then they can move forward with the lease with the team. And the additional action we have would help, I guess, memorialize that or finalize that in terms of giving me authority to actually transfer our ownership in the property to either the city or to someone that they may
Third
choose.
party who may want to step in our
Yes.
shoes, for lack of a
Yes.
better term, and
Indeed.
take over our financial
The
participation.
intent was to give maximum flexibility in that regard to move forward in any possible solution we could think of.
So to be clear, I am not going to allow the narrative that if baseball fails in Horry County, that it is our fault. That is not what's happening here. We are providing multiple potential solutions that make sound financial sense and are sound financial decisions for our taxpayers that will also serve to keep baseball in Horry County. And I surmise that all three of these initiatives will be passed tonight, and that it will then give us the flexibility and ability to move forward with baseball continuing to operate, Myrtle Beach Pelicans continuing to operate in Horry County. But we're going to need some help from that. So, I don't have anything else to add to that. I don't know if anybody else would like to add to that. I think I pretty much summed it up, but I'm sure there are other people who may have questions or have some thoughts on this.
Anyone on council have a question or a statement?
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like for the people to understand that I think $2 million of this is Major League Baseball's requirements that absolutely does not enhance the fans' experience at this stadium. It is all for the players and everyone that works in the facility. That's a big deal. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, so I think we should, for the record, vote these one at a time. And I'll start with ordinance 49, 2025. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes unanimously. Next up is ordinance 59, 2025. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Hearing none, that passes unanimously. And finally, resolution R 71, 2025. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the business of the county for tonight. Mr. DeSabato.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.